Hey, welcome to Man Among Men. Thank you for tuning in with us today. And today I want to talk about some skills that every man must have. There's some skills that are necessary for you to master in order for you to make your way through life. And it just makes life just a lot easier if you can master these particular skills. The channel is called Man Among Men, and we deal with different subjects pertaining to us as men, and I thank you for tuning in. What we're trying to do is, or what we're going to do is, we're going to put together a man's manual about how men do what men do, and I want you to help me, walk with me over the course of this next year or so, and help me to put this manual together. I appreciate you. And speaking of a man among men, I want to say what's up to Benjamin Parker up in Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina, or around the Raleigh-Durham area in North Carolina. Ben, my brother, you are a man among men, and there are very few like you. Ben, keep doing what you're doing, my brother. Now, let's talk about some skills that we all need in order just to navigate our way through this thing called manhood. One of the first skills that I think that you gotta master is the skill of conflict resolution. See, as a man, we're gonna run into conflict, whether you run into conflict in your house, on your job, at the grocery store. You got to understand how conflict resolution works, and you got to work this thing out called conflict resolution. See, as a man, we have been taught as little boys that the best thing you do is you just bust somebody in the face. But when you grow up and you become a mature adult, you learn that ain't the best way to handle those things. And so we got to understand conflict resolution and just how to bring conflicts to an end. Now, it's not about winning an argument. See, because a lot of us men, we just want to win the argument. But see, you can win the battle and lose the war, especially in your house. I mean, do you really want to be right and have your wife not talking to you for 2 or 3 weeks because you are right? We have to figure out ways to bring these conflicts to an end in a peaceful way so that we all survive and so that we all feel good about ourselves. One way to bring conflicts to an end is by you stop always wanting to say something and start listening to what the other party is saying. See, because if you start listening to what the other party is saying, what happens is they feel like they've been heard. And that squashes stuff down a whole lot. Another thing you can do is understand that harsh words bring on harsh words. It's very tempting to go tit for tat with somebody, but sometimes, brother, what you got to do is you let those harsh words fall to the floor and you return them with a nice word because you want to bring the conflict to an end. Now, I know many of you may think, well, man, I ain't doing all that because I don't go out like that. I ain't no punk. You come at me, I'm gonna come at you. Well, when you're dealing on the lowest level of manhood, then I guess you can operate that way. But what we're talking about is men like you, men who are in positions of authority, men who are running multi-million-dollar outfits, men who have a lot to lose. See, if you're running a big organization, you don't have time to go tit for tat with nobody. You're above that. What you want is you want the company to be successful and you want the company to run successful. You want your house to run successful. So therefore, we're not going to get into no back and forth with nobody, So one of the things we do is, as men, we listen. If you got an issue, let me listen to you. Let me hear you. Let me hear what you got to say. And I'm not going to listen to you with the intent of, as soon as I hear something I don't like, I'm going to break in and I'm going to tell you off. No, man. No. I'm going to listen to what you got to say because I believe that you are valuable. I believe that your words are valuable. I believe that what you have to say has some merit. So I'm going to stand here and I'm going to listen to everything you have to say. So therefore, first thing we want to do is listen. Second thing you want to do whenever you're into some conflict resolution, understand that sometimes what the other party has to say, there's some truth to it. See, we don't like that. Yeah, they may be going off, and yeah, they may be saying some crazy stuff, but the truth is, brother, there's some truth in that thing that they're saying about you. And the sooner you can come to the conclusion that, there may be some truth in what they're saying. I ain't the perfect guy that I thought I was. The sooner you can bring that thing to an end. Because, what they'll do is they may throw a whole lot of stuff at you. They may say, oh man, you fat, stupid, you ugly, and you know what, man, and you got a big head, and I tell you what, and you told me a lie last Thursday. Now, understand, a lot of the stuff we can't do nothing about. See, I can't do nothing about my big head. I can't do nothing about how ugly I am. I can't do nothing about the fact that I don't have hair and I'm bald. I can't do nothing about that type of stuff. But what I did here was that I lied to you last Thursday. So let's deal with the lie that I told you last Thursday. Let's push everything else to the side. I want to deal with the lie. See, so you got to pick that stuff out, the stuff that's meaningful, the stuff that may have some merit to it. But in order to do that, brother, you got to listen to what they're saying. So now that we've listened to everything that they had to say, now let's hone in on the lie that I told you last Thursday, because it's probably just a misunderstanding. That's all it is. And if we can get to the last Thursday lie, then what we would do is we both would understand that it was just miscommunication. It was just a misunderstanding. And so therefore, I can explain my side, he listened to my side, I listened to his side, then we both come to the conclusion that, whoa, man, you know what? That was just a misunderstanding. I didn't mean it like that. And you shake hands and, man, I'm sorry. All right, I'm sorry too. And you go about your business and you bring that thing to an end. See, the idea in conflict resolution is not to keep the conflict going. So sometimes, brother, you got to take a step back and realize that you can't be right all the time. We gotta learn conflict resolution. We gotta master this skill. Another skill that we as men, we gotta master is the skill of negotiation. See, our entire lives, man, it's all about negotiating. You gotta negotiate yourself for this. You gotta negotiate for this. You gotta negotiate for a job. You gotta negotiate for a car. You gotta negotiate in your home with your wife. You gotta negotiate some stuff. You know what I'm saying? As a man, and you got a house, you got a wife, you negotiate. You understand that in the negotiation that the vast majority, 99% of the house belongs to her. Dude, this negotiation, 99% of the house belongs to her. Now, you get 1%, like that closet. Okay, what I'm gonna do, babe, I'm gonna make this closet right here. This gonna be my man cave. This mine. This 1%, this closet. I'm gonna keep it as junky as I want. I'm gonna eat and throw stuff on the floor. It's just gonna be dirty, it's gonna be nasty, but it's mine. See, this is negotiation now. You get 99% of the house, decorate it any kind of way you want to. Just give me this closet. Then she say, oh, you know what? Okay, that sounds fair. Now, is it fair? No, it ain't fair. But you want a peaceful house, man? You learn to negotiate these things, and sometimes you come out on top, sometimes you come out on the bottom, but we're constantly negotiating, So therefore, when you go to your job, you're negotiating. When you go to the car lot, you're negotiating. See, and you gotta learn this skill of negotiating, because negotiating is making both people come out thinking that they got something out of the deal. And that's a good negotiator. You want both people to walk away saying, you know what? Yeah, I did good on that deal. Negotiating is not me getting everything, me getting 90% of the deal, and he don't get none of the deal. Now, when you're talking about your wife, of course, now that's different. Your wife gonna get 99% of the deal, you get 1% of the deal, and you gonna be happy with the 1%. Now, for those brothers who ain't married right now, so you say, oh, it ain't gonna be like that with me. I tell you what, if my wife, yeah. Brother, go get you some time in marriage, then come back to the group and let me know. Let me know what you think. But being a very good negotiator, it helps get you through life. It helps with a lot of things. And one of the powerful negotiating tools that you gotta learn, and this helps out a lot, The idea of the walk away. See, sometimes in negotiation, you just got to turn and walk away. Sometimes in negotiation, you got to be willing to lose whatever it is and just walk away. Say, you know what? If it means that much to you, man, you can have it and walk away. See, the walk away is a powerful tool. So if you at a business meeting and you're sitting around a desk and you guys and your company is negotiating with another company, you want to be in such a position and you want to have such confidence in the product that you bring or the service that you provide that when you sit at that table and they lowballing you, you're trying to get $50,000 for the thing that you bring to the table, and they sit there and tell you, well, I tell you what we'll do. We'll give you 10 and then we'll see where we go from there. See, in negotiation, because see, you guys are not even playing in the same ballpark. See, they playing in the junior Pee Wee league, and you up here playing in the major leagues. So in negotiation, man, you don't say the word. You don't go back and forth. We're not gonna argue with you. Y'all want to pay $10,000? You don't even say a word. It's called the walk away. What you do is, you sit there, don't say nothing. Close your briefcase up or close up your papers. Put all your papers inside your briefcase. Look at your team and wink at them. And y'all get up and walk away and don't say a word. I'm going to tell you, it is a powerful thing. Because in negotiation now, if you don't think much of your product, they won't think much of your product. So the skill of negotiation, man, we got to get this skill under our belt. We got to master the skill of negotiation. You're going to be negotiating all your life. So you might as well try to figure this thing out and understand the art of negotiation. Here's another skill that many of us are not taught. And this wrecks a lot of our lives. And that is the skill of financial management. You know, a lot of us men are in serious trouble because we don't know how to manage our finances. And we have no clue what we're doing. See, a lot of us men, we have been taught to look the part, but we don't know how to create an income or create money to sustain the part. Now we know how to look the part, so we know how to go down to the company and sign the paperwork to get it financed, and we know how to swipe the card to get some new clothes, and we know how to sign the paper to get the house that we want, and we sign the paper to get our wife's car. So many of us, really, man, the truth is, a lot of us men, all we're doing is we're financing a lifestyle. Man, you have got to get a hold of financial management and you got to learn how to manage your finances. And the first thing in managing your finances is understanding you can't eat up all your seed. See, if you're a farmer and the only food you get is the food you plant, and so you out there planting food, but instead of you planting the food, you let your wife cook up all the corn and cook up all the seed. And so y'all sitting at the table eating up all the seed, you have nothing left to plant. So if you got nothing left to plant, there's no harvest that's gonna come. You get no harvest. The only harvest you get is the harvest you plant. So we gotta get accustomed to pulling a little bit back and saving a little bit and investing a little bit, planting a little bit somewhere so that we get a harvest coming up so that we can have money to sustain us through tough times. You know what I'm saying? And so we want to try to create some semblance of wealth in our lives. And the truth of the matter is, wealth ain't a big deal, man. Wealth is not. See, when you think about wealth, don't think about millions and millions and millions of dollars. See, most of us, when our mind think about wealth, that's what we first think, millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. Let's think about it like this. Imagine if you had a vehicle that can bring into your house $5,000 a month without you working for it. You do nothing for the $5,000 a month. It's self-sufficient. It just runs and runs and runs. Now, if you had a vehicle to bring that kind of money in, and let's say your outgoing expenses is $5,000 a month, but this vehicle brings in $5,000 a month. Can you imagine what that would do for the stress level in your household? So something that we gotta accomplish, guys, and a skill we gotta master is the skill of financial management. We gotta do better in finances. And the first place you need to start in your finances is knowing what you owe. Do you know what you owe? Do you know how much you owe? Do you know who you owe? See, you can't just close your eyes to these things, man. You got to open your eyes and you got to dig in. First of all, you need to know everybody you owe. You should have that stuff written out, everybody that you owe. You should know how much you owe them every month. You should know how much they're charging you for finance charges so that you can know how much you're paying in finances. Then you should know what is the payoff amount that you owe all these people. And you should tally all that up. So you and your household, you got a running tally of what you owe every month and what you owe in total. You know, and so because the only way you can get a hold of your finances is you got to know what your finances are. So man, check out your finances. Let's do better in financial management. Let's hone in on this skill of financial management and let's see how that changes our lives. You got to get good at the skill of public speaking or communication. You got to get good at that. Listen. Most people that you run into, no, I'm sorry, not most people, all the people that you run into, they're going to make a judgment call about you based upon the way you communicate. You can say it ain't right. You can say it's unfair. You can say they should get to know me. You can say you can't make no judgment call like that on nobody. You can say all you want to say. But the truth of the matter is, most people, when they meet you, they make a split-second judgment call about you, about your finances, about your educational level, about whether you can handle yourself, about what kind of people you hang out with, about what neighborhood you live in, about what you are accustomed to, the people you're accustomed to hanging around. And they make these judgment calls in seconds based upon the way that you communicate. See, it ain't wrong because we all do it. We all do it. We all have done it, and we all continue to do it. You have to get good at communicating. You got to get good at speaking out in public. And when I say speaking out in public, I don't mean going before a crowd, but I am saying that when you go to your office and you go to the place and when you have your meetings, you need to be able to convey your ideas to people to get them to understand what it is that you want. If you are a business owner, and you got 20 people that work for you, and you stand before those 20 people and you give them directions about what you want done in your business in the next month. And when that month ends, all 20 of your people come back and all 20 of your people have done 20 different things other than the thing you wanted them to do. You can't get mad at the 20 people. You gotta look at yourself and you gotta say, man, nobody understood what I was saying. Maybe I'm not communicating very well. Because you gotta get good at communicating. You gotta get good at expressing your ideas. Here's one for you. In the multitude of words, there is sin. See, a lot of us believe that we need to say a whole lot of words when we're communicating to make us sound like we know what we're talking about. But the truth of the matter is, it's just the opposite. When you meet somebody who got to say a whole lot of stuff, I mean, only thing you ask them is, you know, did you go to the store? And then they start with, well, you know, see, because you know, you say store, right? Well, look, man, see, so what I'm saying is now, when you know, because no, I ain't really, you know, I kind of went to, but I ain't really go to, but see, like the store, what store you talking about? Which store you talking about? Are you talking about the one on Wilson? You talking about the one on Lane? Because see, what I'm saying is, when you run into that, 9 times out of 10, the person's not being truthful, they're lying to you. So what you want to do is, when you have an idea, you want to present the idea so that a little kid can understand the idea. But you want to pack the idea with enough substance so that an adult can take it and run with it. You want to make your ideas as simple as possible when you're communicating. You know, don't try to say a whole lot, but we got to get good at communicating, guys. Now, here's another one. Something that we got to master, and this goes along with communication, and that is your personal style. Yeah, your personal style. Meaning how you carry yourself, how you dress, how you do your thing, your swag. You know, what it is about you, how you present yourself, your personal style. Now you may say that, that don't mean nothing either, man. That just don't mean a whole lot to me. As long as I go to my job and I do my job, what do they care about how I present myself? Well, and a lot of people, they come real quick to conclusions like, well, he look all tattered and worn, and look, so I don't know if we want to put him over in this section over here, And so what you want to do is you want to present yourself. Whatever your style is your style. Now, I ain't against your particular style. Your thing is your thing. But what I am saying is just understand that you do have a style, and understand that when you meet people, they're going to take a look at you based upon their judgment about the style that you're presenting to them. Now, your style is your style. Do your thing, man, whatever you want, but understand that in order to walk through certain doors, there are certain styles that'll get you through certain doors. So if you're trying, depending on where you want to go in life and what you're trying to accomplish in life, I need you to consider those things. I don't know where you're going. I don't know what you're trying to accomplish, but consider the fact, brother, that personal style and communication are very important. And so we need to master those skills. The skill of personal style. So there you go. Just some skills that we all must master. Just basic skills that as men, as a man among men, that we have to master. Now, go down to the comment section and let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about what skills did I miss? What skills would you add? Okay? And then we'll deal with those skills in another video. And let's say, hey, what our mantra is. Listen to me. Here we go. This is it. This is our mantra. This is what we say every morning when we wake up and we get out of bed. We stand on the side of our bed and we say it together. I am a man among men, and there are very few like me. My brother, when you get ready to go outside, I want you to stand up. You can stand at the front door and you can yell it outside so all the neighbors can hear. I am a man among men, and there are very few like me. Now, my brother, you go live that out, and I'll see you in the next video.